Do you know how in life you have what's called normalcy bias, meaning that you believe that everything around you is just normal? There's nothing crazy that goes on. Well, that's how I was up until this moment. And like I said, up until the moment this happened, inside of my house, I've always felt safe. I've never ever once considered that there was something weird or strange or even dangerous in my neighborhood. But picture this. It's 2 a.m. when I hear my dogs barking outside. And it wasn't a normal bark like woof, woof, woof. It was that that aggressive, I'm going to eat you alive barking. And so now I'm up moving around the house, looking through the windows, and I see this man in a leather jacket standing outside of my house, right there in the front yard. But this man's face is not normal. Now pause. This is going to sound crazy because I told my family and they didn't believe me either. But he had the face of a bat. And what do I mean by the face of a bat? I mean his face literally looked like a bat's face. Everything else was normal. Human hands, human arms, human legs. But he had this face of a bat. You know how bats have those long, sharp ears, that kind of pointy nose, those beady eyes? He looked like a freaking bat. He's standing there in my front yard, head up in the air, and it looks like he's sniffing the air. Now listen, I've told this story many a times. People have not believed me many a times, but I will tell you, he was no more than 15 to 20 feet away from my front window. So I know exactly what I saw. He stands there for about 35, 45 seconds, kind of moving back and forth, sniffing in the air, then just turns around and walks off. I say to myself, of course, it's 2 a.m. in the morning. Maybe you were sleepwalking. Maybe you were just dreaming, but that couldn't have possibly been real. 2 days later, I'm coming home from work. I'm already aggravated and pissed off because this chick Cheryl with these big boobs and big ass had eaten my lunch. And when I tried to tell people she ate my lunch and confronted her, everybody took her side. So understand, I ain't had nothing to eat all day. I've been sitting in traffic. I come home late. It's about 7:30. The sun has already gone down. I'm sitting in the driveway, getting my briefcase, getting my keys out of the car, grabbing my cell phone. And when I look through the rearview mirror, I see a guy walking by the back of my car along the sidewalk with a leather jacket and jeans on that looked exactly like the guy I saw 2 days ago, standing in my front yard that looked like a bat. So now I'm hopping out of the car, taking a look, and this guy looks at me and he looks normal. I mean, completely normal. And he says, "Hey, how you doing this evening?" So now I know the jacket because it was the same jacket. And I say to myself, all right, cool. You were dreaming. You freaking tripping. It's all good. Head into the house, grab me a sandwich, get me some water. And now I'm trying to get to bed because I'm just over the entire day. Now, I'll never forget that Friday night, not only because of what I saw, but because it was a terrible week. Me going back and forth with people in the office trying to defend Cheryl, even though this big booty, big titty chick was a thief. She had been stealing all kind of people's paperwork, stealing their lunches. She was just a despicable person. So every day I came home aggravated, and the more aggravated I came home, the harder it was for me to sleep. So I was looking forward to getting some rest on this Friday night. I'm in the bed laying down and I cannot go to sleep. It's 10:15 p.m. I get up to get a glass of water, head into the kitchen, and I just so happen to look out of the kitchen window. And I see him, the bat-looking dude with the same leather jacket and jeans on, standing in my neighbor's yard. The only difference this time, for whatever reason, my dogs were not barking at him. He's in the neighbor's yard, peeking through a window. Now this time, I know for sure I'm not tripping because I'm wide awake. So I circled to the living room, grabbed my cell phone, called my neighbor Ted. And understand, Ted and I didn't have the best relationship, and that's due to what I call the War of the Roses, because his wife one day got mad because she got out of the car and one of my rose bushes pricked her, so she came out and started cutting my bushes. A whole bunch of confusion involved with that, but nonetheless, I called Ted. I said, "Ted, listen, there's a guy outside in your side yard looking through one of the windows. Here's what we're going to do. You're going to go out the back door, come around your side yard and confront him from that angle. I'm going to go through your front gate and confront him from that angle. And we're going to find out what the hell he wants. And if he don't do the right thing, Ted, we're going to whoop the shit out of him." Understand, at this point in time, I only got on a tank top and some drawers. Slide on my tennis shoes, head to the garage, grab a golf club, and now I'm out of the front door, tiptoeing over to Ted's house and getting in position by the gate. Now, sure enough, as things would have it, I open that gate going in with the golf club, and Ted's ass has not even come out of the house yet. So now, Imagine me standing there, golf club raised up over my head saying, "Ah, what are you doing here?" It turns and looks at me, and sure enough, it's got the body of a man in the face like a freaking bat. And when I say it's looking at me like it doesn't register me as a threat at all. Listen, that's the read I'm getting off this creature, and I'm thinking, should I just swing at it? When Ted comes around the corner, flashlight in hand, hauling ass, and tries to tackle it. But get this, it's too strong. Only thing it does is shrug his shoulders, and Ted goes flying off, slamming into the house. It turns, takes 2 leaping steps, gets to the backside of Ted's house, makes a right turn, and then disappears. So now, picture the scene. Me, still standing there with the golf club in my hand, Ted, dizzy, laying on the ground, back up against the wall of his own house. I extend my hand to help him up and say, "Man, did you see what he looked like?" And it was only then in that moment that I realized he never got a good look at him. Because Ted says, "Nah, I didn't see what it looked like, but the son of a bitch was strong, man. Did you see what he did me? What do you think he wants? Why you think he was here?" Now, in that moment, I had a decision to make. Was I going to tell Ted exactly what he looked like, or was I going to let the whole situation go? Honestly, I didn't want my neighbor thinking I was fucking crazy. So I just tell him, man, he was pretty big and scary, man. Hopefully, he won't come back now that we confronted him. Listen, now we're sitting in Ted's garage. His wife wants to call the police. And I'm telling him, look, I don't think this guy's going to come back because I don't want to give the police a description of what I saw, because they're going to lock me up in a crazy house. So I said, Ted, look, what we need to do is we need to get some cameras and some more lights and put them out here. That way we can guarantee that nobody comes back and looks at our house. And that's what I did. I put up more floodlights and cameras. He did the same thing. And since we've had those cameras up, we haven't seen anything. But one thing I can tell you, if it comes back, we gonna get it on camera. Now what we gonna do with the evidence, I don't know. But it can't get anywhere near these 2 houses without being recorded.